everybody. Welcome to Mindful Monday. I'm Connie Bowman. I normally teach, as you know, Monday mornings at the North Laurel 50 Plus Center at 9 o'clock. Hopefully someday we'll be back there. But in the meantime, we're making the best of it. And here's Sophie. I don't know if you can see her. She, whenever I refer to the Sophie Shake, that's what I'm talking about. So, yeah, it's another Monday. So I'm sitting in Vajrasana, Hero's Pose, Heroin's Pose. I have a blanket under my knees, and I also have this pillow that I'm tucking underneath to just lift me up a little bit. You might try that. If Hero's Pose is just too tough for your knees, come to a comfortable seat. It's a nice stretch for the quadriceps, and we can do a little centering while we're here. So once you get settled in whatever seat makes you the happiest this morning, goodbye, Sophie. Just let yourself nestle in, maybe close your eyes or soften your gaze. And just notice all the external things that are in your space. We first notice sounds in the distance. We notice the temperature of the air. Notice the sensation of clothes on your skin. Any aromas that may be wafting through your space. Maybe the smell of fresh coffee or bacon or whatever you fixed for breakfast this morning. And then bring your awareness into your body. Notice how your body's feeling this morning. Feeling the sensation of being supported by the surface beneath you. Notice where your shoulders are landing, and see if you can encourage them to drop down a bit from the ears. Notice how your belly is sitting this morning. Maybe soften the belly a little bit. And then see if you can tuck your chin slightly so that it's somewhat parallel with the floor and the neck has a nice long sensation, giving a lift to the crown of the head toward the ceiling. Maybe swallow in your throat to relax the throat. And just soften a little bit more before we begin to invite in some more intentional breaths. And as you're ready, with that nice soft belly, nice soft brow, breathe in and let the belly expand, let the chest expand. And then as you exhale, keep it slower than you would normally. These first couple of times, Sophie's over there breathing with us. Nice long deep exhalation. Good job, Sophie. These first couple of times can be exhalations through the mouth or the nose. And when you're ready, softly, gently, let your lips come together, and we'll invite in a few breaths into the nostrils, filling up all the way to the tops of the lungs. And then slow exhalation through the nostrils until all the air feels like it's out of the body. Breathing in, breathing out. Good. Just a few more. Slowing down. the beginning of this mindful practice. And take this next inhalation. We'll be breathing throughout the entire practice, but let this next one be the longest and deepest. So we're really exercising our lungs. We actually started doing this in class, really lengthening our breaths a couple months before the pandemic. So those of us who have been practicing this, our lungs are in really good shape. So that's a good thing. And take that final exhalation here in the centering practice and just pause and notice how you feel. See if you can perceive a change just in this short period of time. You're already doing good things for your body, starting out your week, your day in a nice, healthy way. And when you're ready, blink your eyes wide open and shake it out, and we'll get ready to practice. If you can stay comfortably in Vajrasana for a while in Heron Pose, let's do that. Otherwise, you can release your legs and come to a comfortable seat. We're going to inhale, reach those arms up, reaching up for all the goodness, and exhale, draw it right on down to your heart. Take your chin to your chest. Take our first stretch of the back of the neck. We'll take two more. Inhale, reaching up, looking up, stretching the front of the throat, and draw those hands down to heart center, chin to chest. Good. Inhale. Last time, reaching up, looking up, and draw that goodness down into your heart center. Let your chin come to your chest, and just pause here. See if there's an intention that comes to mind for this practice, this day, this week. Seal it in. And then we'll come again, reaching up, looking up, letting those palms touch, finding lots of length in the side body. You can do this. And then we'll take a lean over to the left, and we'll look to the right, keeping those hips or legs on the floor. Just finding our first side stretch here. Good. One more breath in. And exhale, and reach up, look up. And then take it to the other side, leaning over, looking in the opposite direction. Nice job. As you're ready, reach up, look up, let your palms touch, and then slowly bring your hands forward and walk your way forward, coming into a bit of a child's pose here. So your head doesn't have to come all the way to the floor, but we get a little bit of a stretch in that lower back. As you're ready, draw yourself back up. Inhale, reach up, look up. We'll take that stretch over to the left side. Inhale, back up to center, reaching up, and exhale to the opposite side. Good job. Inhale, reach up, look up, get length, get long, and then exhale, bow forward. Maybe your forehead comes to the floor, maybe not. Inhale to rise and reach, and we'll take one more to each side. Exhale. Inhale, and exhale, switch sides. Sophie's already asleep. Inhale, reach up, look up, and exhale, bow forward. And this time, we're just going to pause here and reach your fingertips really far forward. See if you can find some length in that lower back, and let your forehead rest on the floor. Just noticing how the lower back is feeling this morning. Good job. Take a nice big breath in and exhale. Good. And as you're ready, slowly peel your way back up. We're going to come and lean back. See if you can take your fingertips to the floor, and your knees might rise up, and we'll get a little bit of a stretch on the fronts of the feet. Just leaning back, opening up that throat center, drawing those shoulders back and down and away Good. And then slowly release that. And if you have props underneath you, as I did, just move that out of the way. We'll come to a seat, and we'll bring our feet together in Baddha Konasana, cobbler's pose, butterfly pose. Yep, Sophie left traces of herself here. And when you're ready, sit up nice and tall. Maybe let your eyes close. Breathe in to the sensation of lengthening those inner thighs. And as you exhale, come forward. And just notice how that feels. Just come gently forward, leading with your heart, leading with that chest. And then eventually you can round forward. And we'll stay here for a few breaths, just allowing this gentle stretch to awaken our legs this morning. Taking a nice full inhalation and a slow, deep exhalation. Good. And as you're ready, slowly come back up. And we'll take our, just bring our legs into easy pose, Sukhasana. So sitting up in just a comfortable seat. And we'll notice we're already getting those outer hips to stretch a little bit. So don't have to do much to get that to happen. And just notice how you're feeling here. And draw your shoulders up towards your ears. Get really long in the side body. And then rotate them back and down. See how far down you can draw your shoulders. See how much length in the sides of the neck you can create just by drawing your shoulders down. Good job. Inhale, we'll do that again. Draw them up, find length in the side body. And exhale, draw them back and down. Good job. Take the third one, third time's a charm, as they say. I don't know why. Draw them back and down. Good job. And then switch the cross of your legs. So if one leg was in front, make it awkward. So it's the awkward way. And you can you can take your pillow or your blanket underneath your bum. I should have said that. Always an option while we're in Sukhasana in easy pose. We're going to take some seated cat-cows here. So as you're ready, draw your shoulders forward this time. Bring your belly into your spine and lean back. Get that stretch of the back from the top to the bottom, lower back to the upper back. And then as you inhale, just draw those shoulders back and down. Draw your chest forward, maybe even lift your gaze. And we'll take a few more here. Rounding forward on your exhale. Opening up on your inhale. Good. Exhale. Hi, Sophie. You coming back for some more yoga? Inhale. Hi. Yeah, I've already had my shower. Thank you. Good job. Okay, have a seat. Couple more. I'm just getting that spine moving forward and back. Good. And then come up to seated. We're going to come into, let's work on our neck a little bit. I did want to work on our neck a little bit. So loop those shoulders back and down and bring your chin down to your chest. And just draw some gentle circles with your nose. You close your eyes and go in one direction. Drawing those circles right in front of you. We always want to work our necks, right? So we can see, especially when we're driving, want to be able to see everywhere. Sometimes I notice how tight my neck is. Go in the other direction. And I don't really notice it until I'm driving and I have to look over my shoulder. So we want to do that. Good. Just some gentle circles. Don't get dizzy. And then let that relax a little bit. Just take the right ear over to the right and take that right hand and bring it up and over to the left ear. And give a nice stretch to that side of the neck. Breathe in and breathe out. When you're ready to release that, we'll just switch sides. You can walk those right fingers a little farther out if you like, fingertips on the mat. Breathe in and breathe out. Excellent. Good job. Check off the neck box. And when you're ready, just lift up this right leg and hoist it over the left, just keeping that the left leg right where it is. Give yourself a big hug. We'll take our first twist this morning. Right hand goes behind. And take your gaze over your right shoulder. And maybe you can get a little more of a neck stretch here, maybe not. Just go with what works for you. Always modifying for your body, this day, this moment, this breath. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Maybe even close your eyes. Breathing in, keeping that nice length from the crown to the tailbone to the crown, lifting up. One more full breath in, breathing all the way till you fill up. And as you exhale, gently unwind. We'll release this right leg, take it back to the ground as though you were seated though you were seated in Sukhasana, and cross this left leg across the right. Give yourself a hug, drawing that left leg in close, and take that left arm back, fingertips to the floor. Sit up nice and tall, and see what you can see over this left shoulder. Always taking the eyes as far as you can, stretching those eyes even, seeing what you can see in your peripheral vision. We'll take 2 more breaths. Sitting nice and tall, crown of the head reaching. Exhaling, you twist a little bit deeper maybe. Getting little spinal adjustments. Breathing in and slowly exhale. Ooh, just let the legs come forward and just flex your toes towards your face and then point them, send them forward. Flex them again, then point and flex and point. Good job. We're going to take a little hamstring stretch, and inspired by my kayak trip yesterday, I went out on my kayak. It was a beautiful morning. The water was so still, and it doesn't happen very often that the water's so still, so glassy. So I grabbed my kayak and went out, and there were so many blue heron out there. So I saw this one guy, and he was just patiently waiting for his, assuming it was a guy, I don't know why, he was patiently waiting for his fish or whatever he was looking for, and he stood there for so long, and I was so impressed by his patience, because that's a virtue we can all work on, right now especially. So there's a couple ways you can do Heron Pose. So if you're comfortable, we were in Hero's Pose, so you can take your left leg and bring it back as though it's in Hero's Pose. This is a little more difficult. Or you can take it forward just like we were in Sukhasana, so just laying it down in so it's in a cross-legged position. And then we'll take that right leg and see if you can reach your see if you can reach either your big toe or around your foot with both hands, and just extend that leg forward. So you're going to flex your toes like we were just doing towards your face, and you might have a little bend in your leg, but see what you can do to straighten your leg a little bit more. So already we're balancing a little bit, we're stretching, and we're breathing. So just notice how this feels. Yeah. And then we'll take it a little bit further if you want, if you wish. If you're feeling like a heron, you can bring your nose towards your knee. Maybe draw that leg in a little bit closer. So keep pressing down into that left leg on the floor so you can feel that groundedness. And on your exhale, slowly release. How did that feel? Like a heron? So if you're feeling okay, you can take your right arm, wrap it around your right leg, and just rock it like a baby. If you want a little bit more, you can take your left arm and kind of encourage that right foot to go in the crook of this left elbow. Just rock it out. Get that hip a little bit more open. That might feel good. Good. We're almost there. See how it feels to just bring that right ankle and lay it gently down on this left leg. So this is fire log pose, and it's really challenging. So if it doesn't work for you, don't go there. But if you'd like to stay here for a few breaths, you can grab a prop, a blanket, a pillow, and tuck it underneath this right leg. And then sit up nice and tall. Draw your shoulders back and down, and just notice how you're responding to this outer hip stretch here. We're really going for it this morning. But see if you can soften wherever you can soften. Maybe I can distract you a little bit. I saw a movie this weekend that had just come out. I saw a review for it, and I asked my husband if he wanted to watch it. It was called Palm Springs, and it was on Hulu. I didn't even know we had Hulu. Apparently my daughter had put it on our TV, so that was great. And it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Andy Samberg is in it, so it was funny, you know that. Keep breathing, keep breathing. I don't want to give anything away, but it was kind of based on Plato's cave allegory, if you know anything about that, how the story is that there were all these people chained up in a cave, and there was a fire burning behind them, so they spent all their days watching the shadows in front of them. And one day, one of the people in the cave got out and realized that the sun was shining and it was a whole different world, and went back in to tell everybody about it, and they didn't believe him, or they didn't want to go out, and they just weren't ready to change and come out of their cave. So it's which is a place where we find ourselves. We only have a couple more breaths here very often. And so these characters, there were three characters who were kind of stuck in this time loop. It was sort of a science fiction comedy, dark comedy film. And they all responded differently. And yeah, you should watch it. You should watch it. So how are we responding here in this more challenging yin passive pose? We always have our breath, right? We're going to take one more breath in, and as we exhale, just slowly release any props. Let that leg release, and just send your legs out long again. Point and flex your ankles. Draw your toes towards your face, and then point them again. We'll stretch a little bit more. And then we'll try that heron pose on the other side. So we'll bring that right foot into Sukhasana, and we'll take that left leg, draw it in, maybe reach for the toe, or if you happen to have a yoga strap, you can also use that. Most people don't have them at home, but you can also use a towel. And just see what happens see if you can balance in this heron pose. Pressing your heel forward, drawing your toes towards your face. Keeping a mindful watch on those shoulders. See if your shoulders want to come out of their sockets or draw up. And then see if you can straighten that leg a little bit more. Keep pressing into that right hip, letting that right hip stay grounded. Maybe straighten that leg a little bit more and decide if you want to bring your nose to your knee. Patiently breathing like that heron. This is good work. You guys got this. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you're ready, we'll slowly bend that knee. Take your rocking of the cradle on this side. So you might see if you can tuck that foot into the crook of the elbow on the right leg. Just look lovingly at your leg as you get that outer hip a little bit more prepared for what's coming. And then as you're ready, we'll slowly come into that fire log pose. Now, if fire log pose doesn't work, you can just place that leg ever so gently right in front of the other. But if you're ready to come into it, you can stack those legs atop one another and then prop up as needed. And then come up to your seat and just notice how you're feeling. You might close your eyes. Notice if you're compensating, allowing yourself to hunch forward. See if you can keep a nice open chest so that there's lots of room for those deep breaths. And just noticing, being mindful of your response to a little more stressful situation. So yeah, these three characters, A.K. Simmons, he's such a good actor, I love him, he's also in it. They all three had different responses to their being locked in this time loop where their days were repeating every single day, and they got to see their patterns and their sort of addictions and the ways that they were chained, like those people in the cave. And so A.K. Simmons' character, he wanted to blame Andy Samberg's character. So he was a little bit violent and in such a funny way. He's so funny. And then Andy Samberg, I don't want to give too much away, but he was hilarious and just he was the guy that wanted to stay in that loop because he was afraid of what was out there somewhat. And then the female, who was Andy's counterpart, she was the one who was determined to get them out of this loop, this time loop that kept them chained to this sort of like Groundhog Day, where they were repeating the same thing. It was funny, and it kept us entertained. So, Palm Springs, I highly recommend it on Hulu. And I think you can get Hulu. You can buy a short-term subscription. But if your kids have it, all the kids seem to have it. Just watch it on theirs. All right, last breath. You guys are nailing this. Good job. One big breath in. And exhale, release that leg. Good job. And just let your feet come to the floor. Bring your knees wide and just rock from side to side. Windshield washing those legs. Releasing those hips. Good job. Okay, so place your blanket on the floor if it's not on the mat, if it's not already there. Move any props out of the way. Pet your dog, and then we'll bring our hands forward. We'll come into tabletop and do the Sophie shake. Sophie, I'm doing your shake. Yeah. You're not in the mood for it today, huh? Let the tops of your feet rest on the mat, and let's just press the mat away, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze, coming into cat-cow, taking a few of those spinal movements here with the breath, inhaling as you come into cow and exhaling, rounding into that Halloween cat shape. Good job. We'll take a couple more. Beautiful. And as you come into that Halloween cat shape, just press the mat away, draw your belly into your spine, and then look down at your hands, release back to table, take your hands a little bit farther, maybe a couple inches ahead, and then tuck your toes And press your toes into the mat, getting a nice stretch of your feet. And as you inhale, lift your hips toward the sky, coming into your first downward facing dog, removing your accoutrement. And then walk your dog, bending one knee and then the other. Those hips nice and loose and stretched, those hamstrings feeling all loose and stretched already. We jumped right into it. And then press your heels back toward the floor, lift your hips a little bit higher, and shake your head yes and no, releasing tension in the neck. Press into all the joints of the fingers as we take one more breath in downward facing dog. And then as you exhale, look forward, take a walk forward to the front of your mat. Come into forward fold. Reach for your elbows. Bend your knees as generously as you need to. And again, shake your head yes and no. Release tension, neck and shoulders. Just let it go. Good job. And as you're ready, bending your knees a little bit more. Fingertips can graze the floor. And then inhale as you slowly rise, reaching up. Sending those arms up toward the ceiling, looking up. And find length. Lift and spread your toes. And then press your toes into the floor. Activate those feet, getting really long. And then as you're ready, take your weight over to your left foot and just lift your right knee up about waist high, flexing that right foot. Finding balance. So these heron, they move so slowly. So we're gonna think heron as we inhale again, and then as we exhale, just slowly lower that right foot to the floor and sink down into chair pose. Good. Arms reaching up, framing the ears. And then as we inhale, we're going to take the weight into the right foot, lift that left knee up. Pressing into the right foot, finding length, half mountain pose here. And as we exhale, sink back down into chair. Good job. Little movement, little balance and movement. Inhale again, we'll take two more. Half mountain pose, balancing on that left foot, thinking heron. Keeping a drishti, something that's not moving. Exhale, sink back down into chair pose. Inhale, left foot rises, right foot balances. Good job. It's getting easier, isn't it? Exhale, coming down to chair. We'll take one more. Moving with your breath. Good. Nice. Coming back into chair pose. Bring your hands to heart center. Let's let all that go with a nice twist, bringing your right elbow to the outside of those left legs and smiling, twisting. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Bring your hands back to heart center, twist to the other side, taking your gaze toward that right shoulder. Good. And as you're ready, slowly unwind. Bring your fingertips to the floor or blocks, coming into forward fold again. See if you can straighten out those legs a little bit more and shake your head yes and no. You guys are working hard today. Good job. One more breath in and exhale it out. And then inhale, come into Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Make that tabletop. And exhale, fold. Bending your knees, root to rise. Inhale, rising up, reaching up, letting your palms touch. And exhale, draw all the goodness down into your heart. We'll find mountain pose here. So let your eyes close. Just standing in mountain pose, standing mountain pose. Feet about hip width apart. Arms at your sides, palms facing forward. Chin parallel with the floor. And just let your eyes close here. Nice job. Beautiful job. We did a lot of stretching on the floor. We'll head back down there, but before we do, I'm going to just take a little a little work for the obliques, for the side body. When you're ready, blink open your eyes. We're just going to take some just side, bringing your arms, swinging your arms from side to side. And then eventually, maybe you get a little love tap on each of those hips, keeping your feet facing forward and taking your gaze over the opposite shoulder. Good job. Just crossing the midline of the body. And we'll take a couple more. Keeping the breath slow and smooth. Maybe speeding up, going a little bit faster. We'll take 2 more. And then come back to center. Come back into mountain pose. Let your eyes close. And just notice how that feels. Take a big breath in, full breath in. Draw those shoulders back and down. Blink your eyes open. Inhale, reach up and look up. And exhale, forward fold. Coming into your forward fold again. Inhale, take your halfway lift. And exhale, take your hands to the mat. Go ahead, step all the way back. You can lower your knees to the floor and then lower the tops of the feet. Lower your whole body to the floor, coming all the way down, making a pillow and turning your head from onto one side. And Sophie shake here, shaking the hips, just finding your way to your mat. Take a big breath in. Exhale it out. And then bring your forehead forward. Bring your hands to either side of your shoulders. Lift yourself up into Cobra Pose. Draw those elbows nice and close to your body. Keep your gaze forward so your neck is not stretching in a compromising way. And then exhale as you lower down. Take that pillow again. Turn your head in the opposite direction. Sophie shake. Breath in. Breath out. And as you're ready, forehead comes to the floor. We'll take that Cobra Pose again. So really draw those elbows in close to the body. Lift yourself up, looking forward, using the strength of your arms, giving yourself a little compression in that lower back. You got this. One more breath in. And then as you exhale, slowly come back up through table. And you might think about taking your blanket to where your knees will go. And we're going to come into a slow descent into child's pose. So the big toes will touch. The knees are as wide as your mat. And then extend your arms forward. Get that stretch of the shoulders. Let your forehead come to the mat. And breathe here. Good job. Just let that lower back decompress in this child's pose. You can always tuck a pillow under your forehead. You can always let your elbows rest on the mat. And just breathe here. Good job. Slow and deep breath. Letting your heels, your hips sink back toward your heels. And your face soften. It's all good. Good job. And then as you're ready, press yourself back up. We'll take our blanket away and come all the way down to our backs. And just give your knees a nice squeeze, hugging them into your chest. That just always feels so yummy. And then take some of those circles, giving yourself a free massage of that sacrum, drawing circles with your knees on the ceiling. And then eventually taking it in the other direction. Nice. And pausing here. Draw your knees back into your chest. And then gently set your feet on the floor, pretty close to your hips. We're going to take 3 bridge poses. And if wheel is in your practice, feel free after one or two bridges to head on into wheel if you would like. But the palms are going to be on the floor. Those shoulders are going to be snuggled down toward the floor. Belly drawn into the spine. Looking up at the ceiling, just slowly press into the floor. Lift yourself up. Pelvis comes up toward the ceiling. Maybe clasp your hands underneath you, drawing those shoulders closer to one another, and lift up into that bridge pose. Big breath in. And then on your exhale, just slowly lower yourself down, releasing those hands, coming all the way down. Just pause here, breathe in and breathe out. Round two, here we go. Press into the floor with feet and hands. Clasp your hands if you like. Snuggle the shoulders closer together. And if you love wheel and have it in your practice, you might try it. I'm going to stay right here because that's what I want to this day. That's what my body is telling me it wants. Maybe lift up a little bit higher, and then on your exhale, just slowly lower back down. You've got this. You might want to hug your knees into your chest, rock them from side to side. Do what feels good in your body. This is your practice. As always, press into your feet. Here's round three. Let's lift up again. Really lifting up this bridge pose, so good. I think I've said this before. This is the pose that yogis claim helps us with staying asleep at night, helps with insomnia, stimulates the thyroid, and is a nice chest opener, as well as some other things, because I'm feeling my quads right now. Good job. Let's let that exhalation take us back down to center. And then take your hips over to the left, about 2 inches. Draw your knees in towards your chest and just let your knees drop to the right. Open up your arms and turn your gaze to the left. You've got this. Nice, juicy stretch, twist before we head into our final rest, Shavasana. Inhale and exhale. Maybe close your eyes, soften your face, let go of tension in the jaw. Anywhere you feel any tension, just let it go. You've done all the hard work. When you're ready, draw your knees into your chest and take them to the other side. Turn your gaze in the opposite direction. Take a full inhalation, fill up those lungs completely, and then a slow exhalation. And the next round of breath will be our final in this twist. And so on your exhalation, bring yourself back to center and set yourself up for a Shavasana that works well for you. So props, something under your knees, maybe something under your neck. And just let your arms, as though we were in mountain pose, let your palms face up and snuggle your shoulders underneath you. Let your heart be nice and open and let your eyes close. Give yourself a few minutes here to just relax, letting, excuse me, all of those shapes that we just made, some more challenging than others, integrate into the body, the mind, and the spirit. Nothing to do here, just completely let go. This is called Walk Slowly by poet Dana Folds. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still. And just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper, and I remember again that life isn't a relay race, that we will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. As many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe, and be, and walk slowly into the mystery. When you're ready, begin to deepen the breath. Make small movements, wiggling fingers and toes. And then decide whether you want to just stay where you are. No one can see you. That's the beauty of this home practice. Or join me in a comfortable seat, making your way to that Sukhasana, easy pose. And if you choose to come into easy pose, see if you can notice how those hips are, the inner thighs, the outer hips. We work them all. See if you notice a little more openness, a little more freedom. Allow your eyes to close. Take a big breath in, draw your arms out and up, reaching up one last time for all the goodness, and draw it right back down into your heart. Chin comes to chest, and just bow to your own beauty, your own light, your own patience with yourself and others. Nice job today, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me for Mindful Monday. Until next week, namaste. Excellent job.